The new year is just days away. While many are preparing for celebration, tenants may want to check to make sure they are all caught up on their rent. Local law offices say they get calls from clients facing evictions, and they spike rapidly at the beginning of the year. I spoke with officials at Idaho Legal Aid Services about the reasons why January sees evictions rise.
We tend to see a spike in evictions right after the new year.
According to the National Association of Realtors, Idaho is the second least affordable state when it comes to housing across all income levels. Executive Director of Idaho Legal Aid Services, Sunrise Ayers, says in January following New Year's Eve, their office receives an uptick in eviction cases.
I'm not sure if that's landlords kind of waiting until after the holidays to send eviction notices, or if that's people having a lot of budgetary strain just catch up to them in the new year.
Ayers says last January, 13% of their housing cases were opened in that month alone, with an average of 3.3 a day. If you are concerned about getting an eviction notice, Housing Chair for Idaho Legal Aid, Michael Bowers, says the best way to avoid getting one is to talk to your landlord ahead of time.
To arrange some kind of repayment plan to avoid having an eviction filed in the first place.
Bowers recommends a repayment plan if you know you will be late on your rent payment. A plan can help avoid the landlord giving you a 3-day pay or quit notice for failing to pay.
That 3-day pay or quit says you either have to pay the full rent within 3 days, and it is just rent, not other fees that are supposed to be included in that, or you have to move out within 3 days, so a very short period of time.
Ayers says that if you have the money, pay the rent as soon as possible and have a witness there so they can document the payment took place. Failure to pay can result in a court hearing being scheduled within 12 days after the notice. A ruling in favor of the landlord means a 72-hour period to leave the property. Bowers says it's important you show up to the court case even if you don't have a lawyer.
There are technical requirements that the landlord must meet in order to obtain an eviction through the courts, and landlords make mistakes. And sometimes a tenant can win just by showing up if the landlord hasn't done their paperwork correctly.
Ayers adds it's critical that you don't ignore any eviction notices, as they can impact your ability to find housing in the future.
If the landlord goes through the whole eviction process and enters an eviction against you, that ends up on your credit and can make it really difficult for you to get housing in the future.
Ayers says to call Idaho Legal Aid Services if you have any questions or concerns about eviction notices or housing cases. For more information, you can visit kmvt.com.